Okay, so I'm just doing this video to help someone with a strategy I talked about on Reddit to do Blossoming Door 22 on Dragon Quest Tact. So here we're just going to start by looking at the units. You see this is the party, and let's just have a look at the party. So first we've got Nocturnus as the leader, and you can also have Seraphy as the leader. There is a difference. You can do this to pump up the damage you do a little bit, but you might be a bit more sensitive to variance in that you've got lower defense, and sometimes you might just have to be a bit more careful. If you do choose to have Seraphy as your leader, instead you'll get that extra defense, but your lower damage output will mean it can take a bit longer. You are a bit more reliant on missiles from Metal Dragon, who we'll talk about in a minute. But just in this case, I have Nocturnus as the leader, but I've done this before with Seraphy as the leader as well. See, my Nocturnus is just 1 awakening, and I have him equipped with his weapon that has some Devil Finesse bonuses on 2+7s. And speaking of his Devil Finesse, or Devil's Finesse, I believe that is +8. As for Seraphy, you can see her Angel Charm is +10. Obviously, that's just something I think everyone does to their Seraphy. And she knows Blunt, which is important for reducing for taking some of the bite out of Killing Machine's attacks, right? You can see that my Seraphy is 2 awakened, but 1 is just fine. You'll have no problem if you only have her with 1. I think the first time I did it with her, she probably only had 1 awakening anyway. And you can see she's just equipped for extra healing. Next we have a Metal Dragon, and the important thing about Metal Dragon here is that he is blossomed. So you want him blossomed to get that extra agility and of course missiles, and you want that as much missile damage as possible. You can see my missile is +10, although your +10 only affects your MP used missiles. This, as far as I can see, it doesn't actually increase the damage of any follow-up missiles. So it's not the end of the world if you don't have it +10. Some of the residual passive damage that Metal Dragon is in here to provide with just the missiles that don't use MP, so you can continually just go on with the battle and you can keep missiling passively. Because a lot of the damage comes from that. It's not as mega important. It's +10, but any if it's +7 or 8 or anything, that's going to help. And next we have Malroth, and my Malroth isn't massively strong. He's S5 and he's not awakened at all, but +5 in Deadly Breath as much as you can, just to increase chances of status effects. That's good, but the important thing about Malroth, the most important thing, is that his agility is above 362, so he is faster than Killing Machine. You see I have this Beast Claw attached to him, and you may not have this if you didn't have the Beast event, if you didn't do things during the Beast event, or maybe you missed it for some reason. But because my one's only S5 and not awakened, if yours is maybe S7, maybe it's more awakened or anything like that than mine, then you can probably get the speed from Sarrow's Claw, right? But this is important because we need to be able to switch some units around on one of the early turns. So basically Malroth, Metal Dragon and Nocturnus, at that turn they all need to be quicker than Killing Machine, so we can basically move Metal Dragon out of the action after we've trapped Killing Machine, and then reshift around Malroth and Nocturnus to trap him with these 2 units instead. So then so then Metal Dragon can be in a different position, ready to follow up with his missiles. And finally, we have Wurtle. This could also be Leary Lantern. It's just a tank with crack resistance. Whichever one you have, trained up the most. You see, I've got the sword on him just for extra HP, just equipped for tankiness, and it's just whichever one has, most selflessness upgrades, because that will reduce the MP cost. So it will allow you to use more selflessnesses, and sounds a bit strange, that word, but then that will allow you to last longer if you need to. And just finally, I'll just show you the member details, just in case that's of any help to you. Well, here it is, and I'm just going to dive in and get our hands dirty now. So here's the starting position of the units, and first we're just going to move Metal Dragon up to lure Killing Machine in. I'm just going to use Gritty Ditty with Seraphy after this. And then we're going to move Malroth up and use his breath attack to try and envenomate the slime. If you don't hit this envenomation, you can still pull this off, but honestly, it's more difficult. It's at the start and you can easily reset, so you may as well just try and hit it and reset otherwise. And then I'm just going to move Nocturnus up, and this is to try and lure a Killing Machine in. And you don't need to use selflessness here at this point with Wurtle. It's going to attack here. Don't need to, but there's not much reason not to. And now we want to use Blunt. So you can still pull this off if it doesn't hit, if you've got Seraphy as your leader especially. But you really just, help. It'll really help manage the damage if you can get that hit here. And he should go and attack, and if he uses his rolling attack, sometimes he'll use his ice attack on knock like this, then the blunt doesn't always matter as much because it's not going to hit Malroth, in which can kill him, in which the blunt is going to reduce that damage if he uses rolling attack twice. But blunt is definitely going to help. So here, I think a selflessness. And this is a turn where we're going to rearrange the units. So we're going to move and use missile, and keep Metal Dragon in missile position. And I'm just going to move Seraphy up. This is really important, because if you don't move her up one space, the Killing Machine will be able to use his ice attack on her, and that's really not what you want. You want him trapped. So I'm just going to move Knock here, and I'm going to move Malroth underneath and just attack. This isn't really meant to do any damage. It's just that if you attack him in this position, then Metal Dragon has a chance to follow up with his missile. So just in this position, and then I'm going to move Wurtle into this position, and you can see Wurtle is now basically going to defend everyone. We're in this kind of plus shape now. And now I just want to use missile, and we're basically just going to keep going until we take Killing Machine down. And we don't really need too much right now. You might want to blunt. You don't need too much Angel Charm or anything. You just need to blunt. You can use Gritty Ditty to make everything go faster. Lower the defences. And here I'm actually going to use Destroyer's Bellow, because if you don't, then the venom won't be enough on its own to kill the slime. It will be left on us with like a slither of health. So this will just make sure that it gets taken down after the next venom hits it. And you can see at this point, Killing Machine's attacks are just, stats are completely crippled. It's trapped in the corner, and this is going to be an easy fight. So just keep using selflessness. And we don't really need to take care of the lemon slime until after we've defeat Killing Machine, it's not really anything to worry about at this point. So we just need to keep, buffing, or there will be a point where it goes below half HP, right? Or not half HP, but a certain amount of HP. And then he will heal himself and his stats will increase again. So just be aware of that. He will then have a really powerful attack he can do. I think it's called Falcon's Slash. And this can do a lot of damage if his stats aren't debuffed. So make sure you use Blunt when necessary, but it shouldn't be too difficult. We've got a follow-up there, which is good. And you see now it's triggered, his attack and defense have risen. But we should be able to blunt that back down, if just to help a little bit. And now this should be no problem. We just need to keep attacking. Hopefully get some missile follow-ups every so often. This is a job of the dragon, is that even... you can see that's the attack I was talking about. Even if you don't have much attack power left because your MP is down, as long as you keep your survival up, you should just be able to get by on Metal Dragon's passive missile damage, which is basically what we're mainly relying on right now. Although we've still got some MP left, so we can get some non-free missiles in. And it shouldn't really be too long until we take Killing Machine down here. Just keep going, keep staying alive, and maybe we can just fast forward past this bit a little bit and get to the point where we're going to take Killing Machine down. So we haven't been incredibly lucky with the missiles, to be honest, but it looks like Killing Machine's about to fall off. Maybe at the hands of Malroth with a normal attack is pretty unusual. But then we can move on to the next phase, which is dealing with the slime. So I'm just going to use Gritty Ditty here to increase everyone's attack in anticipation for this. And we're just going to go straight after this, and I'm probably going to make a couple of inaccuracies in how best to deal with this now, but normal doesn't really matter. It's just so easy at this point, right? And just move Wurtle out of the way, and I'm just going to go in and attack, and mainly we're going to rely on Malroth again to take him down a little quicker with his breath attack to envenomate slime as usual. And I'll just make some, kind of lax decisions here. But it doesn't really matter, right? I'm just so not even thinking about optimum strategy at this point. Everything's done. We just need to get the venom on the slime, and then you could basically just wait. If you want, it's going to just take care of itself if you leave it asleep. You could just wait out after it's asleep and let the venom deal with it, as long as you get one other attack in as well. But you see, I'm just playing around here and eventually get the job done. So when it's asleep, attacks will wake it up, but so you could just wait it out, and it would, after a few turns, it will die. But at this point, I'm just attacking it, getting it done a little quicker. As I said, easy going from here, and the battle should be ours in a couple of turns. So that's it. If you got any other questions, just let me know. It's quite interesting doing this. Maybe I'll do a few more in the future. But hopefully that was helpful for you. Cheers.